Hello everybody and welcome to another photography talk, and this time I just want to talk to you a little bit about some pictures I took in Turin a few days ago. As usual, if you want to support the channel, please put a like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to go step further, check out my website and the link is there. And you can find also my books and to buy the books is a very great way to support the channel. Last week it was a beautiful Saturday, very beautiful spring day, so I decided with my girlfriend to just have a day trip to Turin. Torino, the city of Torino in North Italy. And we went there mostly because we wanted to see an exhibit about the promotion of tourism in Italy between the 20s and the 50s, 1920s and 1950s. Very interesting, a collection of posters and these kind of things. But I decided, okay, I'm going to look at the exhibit about tourism, so why I don't go and be myself a tourist. So I decided to be a tourist, bring with me just a camera that is the perfection for tourists, and this is the Zeiss Ikonta. It's a 6x6 camera. It's very beautiful, very nice to use, very compact, so it's very easy to bring around with you and very good quality. And by the way, you can see a review of this camera here, and I really love this camera. So here is a slideshow of the pictures that I took. It was just 11 pictures, and I can pretend that I just did one wrong on a roll. Actually, I took 2 rolls of pictures, and by the way, some of the pictures are on FP4, developed in Photographic HC at the right time, and some of the pictures are from a roll of HP5 that was a mistake. I had in my pocket, I was convinced to have FP4, only FP4. It was the new packaging of the film, and I got confused, and I put an HP5 400 ISO in the camera. I developed without noticing it, and the day after I was looking, I was emptying my pocket from the package and these kind of things that are in my pocket, and I noticed, oh, there's a problem. And yes, the negative were a little bit dense, but perfect to scan, and so here is the thing, and you can see if you recognize the difference between the FP4 properly developed and the HP5 obviously overexposed in the and developed with the Ilfotec HC with the same times of the Ilford FP4. Here the slideshow, and I will tell you more about the day and some consideration about the city, some rants and so on after the slideshow. As you can see, I've been a tourist. Very touristic images and exactly what a tourist between the 20s and 50s could have done. So that was fun. By the way, in the slideshow I left the pictures for a little more than the usual 4 seconds. Just 11 pictures, so it's not a big deal, and let me know if you prefer more fast slideshow or you enjoy to look at the images a little bit more. Personally, I like slow slideshows because I like to look at the pictures and have the time to look at them. But nowadays, a picture usually is seen no more than half of a second scrolling on a cell phone, so the habits are different. So let me know what you prefer. As I said, I went there to see this exhibit about the tourism promotion between the 20s and 50s. And it was quite interesting. But beautiful art in the posters. Absolutely something that you look at it and think, okay, we lost something in the way. But there were some curious things. In Italy, tourism is promoted by ENIT, and ENIT is the National Association for Tourism and so on. And here is something very curious, because I arrived there and I was looking at the show. I didn't know much about the history of ENIT, but I didn't learn anything about the history of ENIT during the show. They tried to completely avoid, they really made an effort, the organizer, to avoid to tell that ENIT was basically developed during the fascist era. And this is something that I always find hilarious. I mean, we have a story, it was a wrong moment in our nation and all these kind of things, but why deny it? So I went on and I was looking at the history of ENIT, and ENIT was founded before, a couple of years before the arrival of fascism. And the original idea was to have the government almost not involved at all, just and have privates sponsoring this association. So the idea was, okay, the government is the one that will be able to mediate between different interests and put the different industrial of tourism interest around the table and doing nothing. Basically, it was 1 or 2% of the money that went to the ENIT were supposed to be from the government, and all the rest was from private entities like hotels, like railroads, and these kind of things. But 2 years later, fascism arrived in Italy. So in 2021, I think it was, 2020 or 2021, Mussolini arrived in Italy, went to power, and ENIT transformed. ENIT became something independent. Initially was under the Minister of Industries. With Mussolini, he went on the Minister of Culture and Propaganda. And you can see in this exhibit that a lot of the posters are beautiful art deco, a lot of things are futurism, and there's a lot of the rhetoric that we used by the fascism. By the way, almost all the posters of that era have the symbol of the fascism in a corner. And it was there was this kind of futurism. There was the men are great and all these kind of things, and the future is ours, and speed, and all these kind of things. And to see all that, and this effort to cancel, to eliminate every connection with the fascist regime in the description and these kind of things, was really absurd. But then you go on with the history of ENIT, and you discover that ENIT, yes, after the war was not didn't went back to the original idea of a private association with just the government in some way coordinating, but it went fully government, so full propaganda again. So the exact things that was under fascism remain today, and now it's changed a little bit. It's supposed to be private, but it's private with the ownership, with the majority of the government. So at the end of the game, you look at this and you think, why they don't want to tell you that all these Enid and all these efforts to bring tourism in Italy in a very structured way started under Mussolini. And you look at now and think, okay, because it's the same. It's exactly the same things now as it was Mussolini. It just changed who is in power, but they didn't change the structure of the things. And this is very hilarious. So that's one thing. But the show was absolutely nice. I really enjoyed the posters and the art involved in that. So that was the idea. Then the show was at Palazzo Madama. It's a beautiful palace from the Royal Savoy family, center of Turin, and really, Turin is a beautiful, beautiful city. It's not a city I'm very comfortable with. Or, I mean, I like the city. I never felt at home. I always felt this feeling of, the controlling noble family looking down at you in all the city. I never felt that the city was built for me, but was built for someone else. So, and I'm just a subject to these people. So this is my feeling in Turin, but it's really a beautiful city. So I went around, took some pictures that you have seen, and after that, a little walk in Turin in the center, and after that we went to visit the Mountain Museum, and that is something that is absolutely worth to watch. First of all, you arrive there is probably the most beautiful panoramic view of Turin, because you see Turin from some altitude, but you are just on the other side of the Po River, so you are in the center of the city in some way. If you go, there are other places on the hills where you see a beautiful view of Turin, but you are far away. So there is absolutely beautiful. It's really worth to go there and go to the balcony at the top. It's €3 the access, and just take a look at the city. Absolutely beautiful and outstanding. The other interesting thing is the Mountain Museum has always some exhibit that is related to photography. In this case, there was an exhibit of pictures of Guido Rei. He was an amateur lover of the mountains and took a lot of pictures. And it's something that really impressed me is that there were a part dedicated to the pictorial portraits that he did also as a job or fun, I don't know, because in theory he was an amateur, but there are these pictorial portraits that recreate usually some paintings or something like that, or are inspired to paintings and so on, and large format cameras and film with still a lot of silver in it, and you can see the level of details, the level of transition between black and white and these kind of things that is really impressive. It really makes me desire to recreate again something like that, to start to do some portraits and things like that with a view camera. It can be, 8 by 10, something like that, so very large format, contact printing and so on. And really that is impressive. And you look also at the pictures that he took usually with a 4x5 camera going in the mountains, and you see how much latitude of exposure was in the negatives, how much precision, and how many quantities of different tonalities are between different tones is absolutely impressive. And so I think this exhibit will be on until September or something like that of this year. Really worth to take a look at it. And usually they always have something photographic and something old. It's always something that is from usually the beginning of the 900s or late 1800s. So it's really, really nice, really beautiful. And that is my point. And Turin as a city, something that I noticed, there's a picture that I took, and actually is an happy accident because I didn't advance the film too well, and actually this is two photographs overlapping each other. But I took a picture of a wall with some really little sheet of paper, little posters calling for protest and get together and protest, and that was impressive. I took the pictures because in a place where you have graffiti everywhere, Turin right now is the roads are really bad. It's impossible to find a parking spot. The city is kind of dirty. You go around and you smell urine in a lot of places. If you go to the area of the theater and these kind of things, really it stinks like piss. It's really incredible because we have a lot of bums and a lot of immigrants that have no money at all, no work at all, and they just use the city as a bathroom. So you have these problems, stinky city. You look around, it's not unsafe, but it's very uncomfortable because you see a lot of bumps, a lot of people that is kind of on the border, and you look at it and you see the manifest calling for protest, and the protest is against what is Trump and the black tide. And I started to laugh because really you're in the middle of all this shit, where and shit physically also, because there's another trend in Italy that everybody wants to have a dog. They go out with the dog, let the dog shit and piss everywhere. So it's really something absolutely bad. And you have all these problems that are your day life problems. You have a cost of life that is skyrocketing. You have all these kind of things, and yeah, the only things you call for a public protest is some guy on the other side of the ocean that you don't like his policies. Really, that is hilarious. So that was another thing about the city of Turin. And as I said before, you have seen the slideshow and probably have stopped to see there, and this was my rant and my consideration. But beautiful city, beautiful place to take pictures, and really has a good aesthetic, and it's a nice place where to, for example, organize workshops, something like that. If you are interested, I can do it for you. So, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time with other videos.